The rhythmic sounds of the Hevisi drums fill the air inside the Dalada Maligava just before dawn. These drums are associated with an ancient ritual known as the Thevava or daily service, which continues to be performed in honor of the sacred tooth relic up until the present day. The many rituals associated with the sacred tooth relic or Dalada Vahanse have been conducted without interruption over many generations, even in the midst of civil strife, foreign invasions, and natural disasters. This has been the case even during periods where the relic's guardians were forced to take it into hiding for fear of it being destroyed by foreign forces. Even then, wherever the relic was hidden, the rituals associated with it were still performed. Why are these many rituals so important to the tooth relic, and why have they been performed for so long? The answer lies in what the sacred tooth relic represents, and it goes back to the association the Buddha had with his faithful attendant, the Venerable Ananda Thera. Venerable Ananda Thera dedicated his entire life to attend the needs of the Buddha. The sacred tooth relic housed at the Dalada Maligava is regarded as a living Buddha. The pujas and the rituals dedicated towards Lord Buddha that were carried out by Ananda Thera are now being performed as the Theva services in honor of the sacred tooth relic. The Thevava services are led by the Mahanayaka Theras of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters and followed by the residing Mahasangha of the temples who are dedicated by them to conduct the rituals. Besides the daily Thevava services, there are also weekly and annual pujas and rituals dedicated to the sacred tooth relic, which has been continuously carried out from ancient times to the present day. 3 Thevava ceremonies are performed on a daily basis. These are the early morning service, midday service, and the evening service. The early morning service or Aluyam Thevava commences at 5:15 am with the beating of Hevisi drums inside the Maligava's Hevisi Mandapaya of drumming hall. The beating of these drums serves as a sound offering or Shabda Puja for the sacred tooth relic. During the time of kings, only the best Hevisi drummers in the kingdom were selected to perform for the Thevava. 4 groups were formed to perform the Hevisi drums for the Thevava ceremonies in ancient times. These groups were known as Panikki. Drummers in these groups hailed from Ihala Dolospattuwa, which come under areas such as Mawathagama in present-day Kurunegala district, Pahala Dolospattuwa, which come under areas such as Hiriyala and Hatpattuwa, and also Dumbara and Matale. These Panikki groups hailed from villages selected by the king during the time periods of the Yapahuwa and Kanyan kingdoms. While the drummers were appointed by the king in ancient times, today these appointments are the responsibility of the Dalada Maligava's lay custodian, the Diyavadana Nilame. Most Hevisi drummers hail from families that have been performing the drums for the Thevava services for generations from the time of kings. The Hevisi drum beats also change according to the service that is being held. For example, the Hevisi beats performed on Wednesdays during the Nanamura Mangalya is different to others. Several other musical instruments such as Nagasinnam, Tabboa, Talampata are specifically performed on Wednesdays. Every aspect of the daily service is performed according to a schedule, and the monks who have been appointed to attend to services must wait till the caretakers open the doors. The monks and the temple officials first follow in a procession the official known as Vattorurala, who carries on his shoulder the keys that unlock the doors to the hall where the rituals are performed. This procession is known as Yathura Payinda Kirima. Near the entrance to the hall, the keys are handed to the official known as Pallemale Rala, who then proceeds to open the doors. The silver door is opened first, followed by the golden door. The religious services are performed with the same level of devotion offered to the sacred tooth relic that Ananda Thera offered to the living Lord Buddha. Once doors are opened, the monks assigned to conduct the services enter the Gandha Kutiya or inner chamber and worship the tooth relic on their knees. They then offer up the Rankendiya or golden ewer filled with water. The gold-handled Dahatikura, which was used in ancient times as a type of toothbrush, is offered thereafter. Water from the golden ewer is then poured over 3 times to signify the washing of the mouth. Water is poured over 3 more times to signify the washing of the feet. The asana puja and flower offering is held thereafter. Saman pitcher or jasmine flowers are offered with great devotion along with other offerings. Removals of the offerings are also undertaken according to a system. The process starts from removing offerings from the silver vessels first, before ending with gold vessels. These vessels are handled by a monk who is assigned to this task, and only he is permitted to touch them. The midday service or Navapaya Thevawa starts around 9:30 am and concludes at 10:30 am. This ritual sees the midday meal or Buddha Puja being offered to Lord Buddha. The monks in charge of Thevawa and the officials who performed the morning service perform this service as well. Firstly, the oil lamps are lit and the withered flowers from the morning service are removed. At around 9:40 am, the curtains of the Gandha Kutiya are pulled back and the doors of the Handun Kuduma in front of the Pirit Mandapa are opened for the benefit of the pilgrims. Thereafter, the official called Geparala hands over the silver tray with jasmine flowers or saman pitcher to be offered to the sacred tooth relic. Then, the conch blower, along with the other officials and the monks assigned for the Thevawa, brings the meals or Buddha Puja to be offered. About 15 minutes after the Buddha Puja is offered, the removal of the vessels, signaling the end of the Thevawa, is also done by the same monks. This is done amidst the ceremonial drumming of Magulbera sounds. The doors are closed after the respective monks and officials inspect that everything is in order. Repeat of the same paragraph. About 15 minutes after the Buddha Puja is offered, the removal of the vessels signaling the end of the Thevawa is also done by the same monks. This is done amidst the ceremonial drumming or Magulbera sounds. The doors are closed after the respective monks and officials inspect that everything is in order. The evening service or Gilanpasa Puja starts around 6:30 pm and goes on till about 7:15 pm. This service too is performed in the midst of sounds of the Hevisi drums. The old and withered flowers are removed and fresh flowers are offered. The evening service is to offer Lord Buddha Gilanpasa, consisting of juices and other items. Sugar, sukiri and the sugar sap of kitul palm or altelija is offered in 3 small goblets, as well as honey, ginger and ghee are offered in a combination of gold and silver goblets. Repeat of same paragraph. The evening service is to offer Lord Buddha Gilanpasa, consisting of juices and other items. Sugar, sukiri and the sugary sap of kitul palm or altelija is offered in 3 small goblets, as well as honey, ginger juice and ghee are offered in a combination of gold and silver goblets. There are actually two Gilanpasa offerings to the sacred tooth relic. The second Gilanpasa offering started during the reign of King Kirti Rajasinghe. Once the Thevava ceremony concludes, the doors leading to the shrine room where the sacred tooth relic is kept are shut. Once the doors are closed, they are not open for anyone, whatever the rank they may hold. King Kirti Rajasinghe once came to the temple to worship the sacred tooth relic once the final Thevava ceremony had ended for the day. The monks in charge of the Thevava refused to open the doors to admit him, though he was the king. Subsequently, on a request made by the king, the monks and temple authorities agreed to hold a second Gilanpasa Puja in the evenings. This practice continues today. The Nanamura ceremony or Nanamura Mangalya is a weekly ceremony that takes place every Wednesday. This is performed by monks who are in charge of the rituals of the Thevava. Items used for the offerings, sacred water and Siddhartha oil are supplied by the laymen taking part in the service. The rituals are performed inside the Gandha Kutiya in the presence of the tooth relic. Two women known as Alatti Amma also take part during this service. During the ceremony, those in the Kavikara Maduwa or the chambers of versifiers will recite poems in praise of Lord Buddha. A small silver casket used to symbolize the relic casket. The shadow of the casket is made to fall on a mirror which is bathed with a specially prepared fragrant herbal concoction. Once the ceremony is over, the fragrant special herbal concoction is distributed among the waiting devotees who believe that it has healing power. Finally, flowers are offered to the relic casket as usual. There is also a ritual known as Amuthu Muluthan Pujawa, which commenced at the Dalada Maligawa through a custom performed in the king's palace. Originally, for this puja, one had to cook 32 serus, which is an ancient measuring unit of rice. Currently, however, this has been limited to 16 serus. A total of 32 curries are also prepared for the puja. This puja was introduced to express the king's respect to the sacred tooth relic and is performed even today as a Dalada ritual. Apart from the daily and weekly services, there are special religious programs conducted at the Dalada Maligawa on every full moon Poya day, where large numbers of devotees take part. 4 such major ceremonies are held each year. They are the Aluth Sahal Mangalya, Aurudu Mangalya, Asala Mangalya and Kartika Mangalya. The Alut Sahal Mangalya is a festival held in the month of January. Is the last festival for the year as per the Sinhala calendar. The ceremony held to offer the first share of the new paddy harvest to the sacred tooth relic. This first share is offered in the form of milk rice prepared using the first harvest. In ancient times, the king officiated at this particular ceremony, and the measuring and distribution of rice was done by the king himself. The practice is believed to have originated during the reign of King Kirtisri Rajasingha. The paddy fields dedicated for this purpose were earlier situated in Gurudeniya. Today, the harvest is from paddy fields in Pallekele, as the Gurudeniya fields were flooded under the Victoria Reservoir project. Today, the ceremony is officiated by the Diyawadana Nilame in his capacity as the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic. He distributes rice to 91 temples and devalas, while the rest is distributed according to the second and third list. From the first harvest of rice, 80 serus, which is an ancient traditional method. Repeat of the same paragraph. Today, the ceremony is officiated by the Diyawadana Nilame in his capacity as the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic. He distributes rice to 91 temples and devalas, while the rest is distributed according to the second and the third list. From the first harvest of rice, 80 serus, which is an ancient traditional measurement of milk rice, is offered to the sacred tooth relic on the Duruthu full moon Poya day. The New Year festival or Alut Awurudu Mangalya is celebrated in the month of April, which is considered as a festive month. It is the first festival for the year as per the Sinhala calendar. The festival begins when an officer known as Mohottala prepares a list of auspicious times for the Dalada Maligawa and other devalas to observe and engage in rituals. While the offering of puja to sacred tooth relic is a daily ritual set according to a schedule, all rituals conducted for the New Year festival have specified auspicious times. Repeat of the same paragraph. While the offering of puja to the sacred tooth relic is a daily ritual set according to a schedule, all rituals conducted for the New Year festival have specific auspicious times. The rituals that are carried out at auspicious times during this festival are the dawn of the New Year, the holy bath, boiling of milk, preparing food items, and oil anointing ceremony, which is held at the Natha Devala on the Wednesday following the New Year day. All those activities are conducted to invoke blessings for an abundance of prosperity to the country and its people. The third festival of Dalada Maligawa is Karthika festival celebrated in November during Ilpoya. The purpose of the Karthika Mangalya is the lighting of lamps and owes its origins to Hindu traditions. The festival was first performed for Prince Kanda, known as the god of Katharagama. It is believed that this later evolved into a Karthika festival in honor of the sacred tooth relic. The Karthika festival is celebrated with a grand perahara on parade, followed by lighted oil lamps being offered to the sacred tooth relic once night falls. In ancient times, the oil for the Karthika festival was distributed by the king. The Diyawadana Nilame is the chief organizer of the festival. Following on form this same custom, the oil today is provided by the Dalada Maligawa to the 4 main devalayas and the other listed rural temples and devalayas. The oil is distributed by Karya Karavana Korala. The Perahara Mangalya is an annual event at the Dalada Maligawa. 4 different types of peraharas take place at the temple every year. These are the Vesak Perahara, Posun Perahara, Asala Perahara, and the Wahala Naga Upasampada Perahara. Of course, the main Perahera and the pageant that has become famous throughout the world is annual Asala Perahera. The Perahera was performed during the time of the kingdoms of Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Dambadeniya, Yapahuwa, Kurunegala, Gampola, Kotte, Sitawaka and Kandy. Annual Darada Perahera was performed as a showcase of the guardianship of the sacred tooth relic. The Perahera was allowed to continue even under the British rule after the Kandyan kingdom fell in 1815.